Today, all my art secrets will be revealed. What's up guys, Lucas here. I'm a concept artist and illustrator working for video games, and this channel is all about art, so if that's something that you like or you are into, consider subscribing. As I mentioned in the previous video about how to improve your character designs, today we are going to go through the caveman painting, and I'm gonna take you guys and walk you through the process and tell you what was I thinking during the whole process, the problems, the solutions, and everything that was happening. If you want to see how the sketch came to be, you can go and check that previous video out. I'm gonna link it up there in the card for you guys to check it. Without anything else, let's get into the video. So the real time of this painting was 8 hours. I would say that's like an average for an illustration, a character illustration with a background and all those little details and everything. So the first thing that I did was importing, of course, the sketch from the iPad. I already made kind of a cleanish line for all the illustration to work out. And then when I get it into Photoshop, I make a layer for absolutely everything. There are people that are very against doing a lot of layers because they say that it takes a bunch of the time of painting to just create all these masks, but from colleagues and friends I have learned that it really saves you time at the end. If you really want to have at the end like a super clean illustration, then you kinda need those layers. You can see that at the start I was not choosing the colors at all. Like, if you go and start worrying yourself about local colors of things at the start, you will never finish the layering. So what I do is I just choose whatever color as long as it's different enough for me to see, and I go through all the objects. So once you have all the layers set up, what I usually do is that I then worry about the local colors. So I go there and select the layer and just block the transparency and start filling each layer with the color that I think will suit the best each of the parts. But something important before you start coloring is for you to prepare a background, because the background color really influences the way that you perceive the local colors. So always, and that is like a serious truth, always, before coloring your objects, decide on the background, right? Decide on the atmosphere and what colors are going to surround and illuminate your subject, alright? So once I have my local colors, I start putting the shadows on the objects. I usually do another layer on top to make the shadows, because that really gives me a lot of control. But again, more layers, and that means more problems if your computer cannot handle it, and of course you have to select through like 1,000 layers. But for me it saves time. It's your decision. So I wanted an illumination that came from over his left shoulder, because I wanted the most of the painting to be in the shadow, illuminated by the light of the sky. Something that maybe you should remember when you're painting things in skylight is that skylight is blue, and it's going to cool the colors off. So that means that, for example, your skin color is going to go through to a warmer yellow through a little bit more of a gray, because for yellow, gray is going to be colder. So you go a little bit up in the value and a little bit less in the saturation, and that already looks cool on the skin. Cool like temperature, not cool like cool, you understand. So you can see that one of the first things that I go and define is the face. For me, it is very important that the focal point of the painting gets defined from the start. So I go there and I start working with an airbrush to fine-tune everything. Here, by the way, because I know that I'm gonna get the question, I'm not using anything fancy until this point. Is really just airbrush, alright? Hard brush and airbrush, the most default brush that you can get in Photoshop. Another thing to remember is that when light hits objects, it usually desaturates them. That means that you are going to have a roll of the saturation. When it goes down to the shadows, it's going to get more saturated and usually deeper, the color of course darker, and when it goes to the light, you're going to have a little bit more of a desaturated whitish color. Oh, here it is the worst part. I don't know what got into my head to try and make something look like sauce on top of the fish, and god damn it, I really don't know how to how to make sauce. So it was just weird. I showed it to a couple of friends and they told me that it looked like just like a peeled skin of the fish just falling apart and kind of gross. But I don't know. You judge it at the end and you tell me if I managed to make it look like sauce. And right about then I started wondering why the guy didn't have any hair, because it looks just empty without the hair. So I played a little bit with patterns in his beard and maybe chest hair and things like that, just to make it look like a caveman, because that was what it was supposed to be, a caveman. And I really think it was an improvement when he got some hair on top. By then also I decided to just fuse all the layers and divide it only into subjects. For example, one layer was just the caveman, one layer was the fish, and one layer was the background, and another the grass. Because I was spending too much time just going from one layer to the other one to find everything, and you know, at the end it just consumes time. And for professional work I do keep all the layers and everything, because at the end you need to move something or maintain everything super clean. But because this was for my personal work, then I decided, nah, fuck it, I will just fuse everything and have more of a dirty painterly look that I already told you that I prefer. You can see that the color palette was pretty much defined from the start. That is not the case always, right? I struggle with my color palettes a lot. In this one I don't know why it came out so easily from the start. I think it's because it was skylight and grass beneath, and that is really easy to, like, it's the most common light scenario that we have in mind, so it's way easier to make that than, for example, like a sunset or indoor lighting with color light or something that really complicates things, and this one was pretty easy compared to that. At the end I decided to remove the shirt of the guy and I added more hair. If you want to know the reasons why, go and check the last video, because I go through the details of that in the design video. Right about then I decided, alright, this needs a background, because the white from the floor or background, it was bothering me a lot. It was catching too much of the attention and just kind of like taking the viewer out of the illustration. That at least that's what I felt. So I decided to just fill everything with plants. I was thinking of the Croods, the DreamWorks movie. I think it's DreamWorks, right? And filling everything with these like chunky plants. I really love the art of that movie, by the way. I think it is a very how do you say it, underappreciated. I'm not sure if that's a word, but yeah, I felt like The Croods was a very beautiful movie that didn't receive the attention that it deserved. And the art book, oh my god, the art book is just amazing. For anyone out there that doesn't have it or haven't watched it, I absolutely recommend, if only for the art. So by then I was pretty much sure that I was happy with the illustration and how it was, I don't know, behaving. So I had the confidence of going very close already and having like a very small brush to, for example, make little hairs, little details. You can see that I was already trying to do a little bit more saucy the sauce on top of the fish. I got some references and I was really struggling to make it look like I wanted. So I started putting some streaks going down on top of the fish just to give the idea that it was liquid. I'm not sure if I managed, to be honest. And those little plants on his belt are something that I was really proud of, because I said like to myself, all right, I'm gonna add some story in this painting. I'm gonna be, you know, like a real storyteller here. And I added like the little plants he was supposed to have, you know, like here's where he keeps his little spices and aromatic plants, so that he puts them in the fish. And the last steps of the painting are always the same. I add a noise filter, a color lookup layer, and in general I zoom out and check if I can do something in general with the color palette, but this one didn't change much. So there you go, you have a finished illustration, and you know all that was going through my head when I was painting this guy. Question, guys, what is the part that you struggle the most in a painting? For me, it is definitely the material depiction. It's really hard for me to get to like some material to get to look like that material. For example, like, I don't know, clay like clay or plastic like plastic, metal. Tell me in the comments below and I'll be very happy to tackle the subject in one of the future videos, alright?
That's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video till the end. Leave me a like if it was useful, and of course, subscribe if you want more content like this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.